Hi, everybody. Rich Lederer here, your resident fly-by-the-roof-of-the-mouth user-friendly linguist, wizard of idiom, Attila the pun, Conan the grammarian, the most word-struck, word-besotted, word-be-thump wordaholic you will ever meet. You may know me from the Union-Tribune, my column, Lederer on Language, appearing weekly or every other week. We'll see what happens with that. And from KPBS and Away with Words. I am a co-founding host of that show, which, by the way, now reaches hundreds of outlets across the US of A. I'm starting with this because it happens to be my first slide, and it is the cover of my bouncing baby book, A Treasury of Christmas Humor, first edition. And I invite you to purchase at $13 per book. And I am 82 and a half. I just became that on Thanksgiving. And the artist is 91 and a half, Jim McLean. You get a sense of his drawings from these 5 characters here. And at any rate, 51 of Jim's illustrations along these lines, except in black and white, are inside the book. Later, you'll find out how you can consult with the Senior Center and the website as to how to get them, but I'll show you at the end. And think about it, free money for your beloved Senior Center. You get to do your Christmas shopping. I sign, I personally inscribe by your instructions, and I will even mail them for you to various places in the US if you wish. So a little more of a sense of the book from my introduction. Christmas is a major global holiday. For 2 millennia, people around the world have observed Christmas with traditions both religious and secular. The Christmas story centers on the birth in Bethlehem of Jesus Christ, a spiritual leader who Christians believe is the Son of God and whose teachings have become the center of Christianity. Jesus' birth happened in a stable because there was no room at the inn for Joseph and Mary. To that stable journeyed 3 magi, magus is the singular, and shepherds with their flocks to join angels paying homage to the newborn child. In the United States, the holiday is a joyous occasion illuminated by candles and graced by decorations, ornamented Christmas trees, poinsettias, traditional songs and carols, church services, family feasts, the exchange of gifts and greeting cards, the wait for Santa Claus to arrive, and the donning of ugly sweaters. December 25th, Christmas Day, has been a federal holiday in America since 1870. I believe that's our only holiday that is a federal holiday, only a religious holiday, that is. The Christmas traditions of trimming pine trees with ornaments, decking halls with boughs of holly, hanging mistletoe, and festooning homes with red, green, and silver decorations have become ingrained in Western culture. As with Hanukkah, and you see the menorah there with the 8 candles, and then the 9th in the middle, with, of course, the Christmas tree. As with Hanukkah, the Jewish festival of lights that occurs in the same season, human beings yearn for stories of light shining down on them during the dead of winter, the darkest time of year. That's when people look for hope and brightness and warmth will return and life will go on. And it sure does. And just the fact that we have this technology, the Zooming, the PowerPoint, tells us that science will out and will in this pandemic. And I know that the RSF Senior Center is doing its best to integrate science so that we all can have a brighter time. So look at that drawing. That's one of the interior black and whites. A stocking full of Christmas riddles. How do sheep greet each other at Christmas? Seasons bleedings and fleece Navidad. Fleece on earth, goodwill to sheep. And what did one sheep say to the other? Every time I say bye, you don't have to go and say humbug. What do cats say at Christmas to each other? A furry meowy Christmas and a yappy, and a happy New Year. And dogs say yappy holidays and a yappy New Year. So at any rate, gives you a little sense of some of the riddles. Where does Christmas come before Thanksgiving? In the dictionary, because that's the only time Christmas comes before Thanksgiving. If athletes get athlete's foot, what do astronauts get? Mistletoe. Little different spelling of missile. What international disasters could happen if you drop when you drop the Christmas turkey? The downfall of Turkey, the breakup of China, and the overthrow of Greece. And what do you call an elephant at Christmas? A Noel-elephant. Example of some of the funny puns in there. And about 70% of the book is jokes and riddles, and 30% is material you're going to find out more about Christmas. What is the Little Monster's favorite Christmas song? I saw Mummy hissing Santa's claws. I saw Mummy's hissing Santa's claws. If Christmas and Hanukkah were combined, what song would be sung? And the answer is Oy Vey Maria. Did you hear about the dyslexic devil worshiper? He sold his soul to Santa rather than Satan, incidentally. What does Santa Claus do with his 3 gardens? Ho, ho, ho. So what does happens to Santa when he gets stuck in the chimney? He experiences Santa claustrophobia. And you can see, I hope by now, that this is not a children's book. I would say 12 and above would be appropriate, but otherwise, I think the level of wordplay would be frustrating. So among the gems in this book are, sorry, just a minute, working on this here. Yeah, are quotations from celebrities about Christmas. My favorite is Shirley Temple, and there's a Jim McLean drawing. She said, I believed in Santa Claus until I was 6 years old. And that's when Mummy took me to the department store, and I sat on Santa's lap, and he asked me for my autograph. Rodney Dangerfield, last Christmas, I got no respect in my stocking. I got an odor eater. David Letterman, Halloween is the beginning of the holiday shopping season. That's for women. The beginning for the holiday shopping season for men is Christmas Eve. Johnny Carson, mail your packages early so the post office can lose them in time for Christmas. Dandy Daily McCall. What if there had been 3 wise women instead of 3 wise men? They would have asked directions, arrived on time, helped deliver the baby, cleaned the stable, made a casserole, brought practical gifts, and there would be peace on earth. And then another celebrity writes, Christmas, the only time of year when you sit in front of a dead tree eating candy out of a sock. By the way, speaking of Santa Claus and claustrophobia and so on, the 5 stages of a man's life in terms of Santa Claus. First stage, he believes in Santa Claus. Second stage, he doesn't believe in Santa Claus. Third stage, he dresses up to look like Santa Claus. Fourth stage, that's me incidentally, he looks like Santa Claus. Fifth stage, he thinks he's Santa Claus. A little bit of a sad one there. one of the things you will learn in the book is the various meanings of certain words to do with Christmas. So Christmas is the Mass of Christ. So it's really Christ Mass, but the vowels have been what we call flattened or elided. And we do that with, for example, breakfast. We break the fast, but breakfast, again, we're softening the vowels. Like shepherd is sheep herd, but again, we soften the vowels. And it's the same with holiday, which is holy day. We've taken the holy and made it holla. And as a result now, Labor Day is a holiday. Thanksgiving is a holiday, and yet they are not religious holidays. The word solstice is interesting, and it's the time when the sun appears to stop and then start going the other way back toward the equator. It comes from two Latin roots, sol meaning sun, of course, as in solar, and the sistera means to stand still, and that is because the sun appears to stand still. Words to do with Santa Claus are among the most fascinating. Sinterklaas gives us that. Saint Nicholas, this is all from the Dutch. My wife is Dutch, incidentally. And the Kris Kringle is from the Christkinder, German, and is the Christ child, because before the ascent of Santa Claus, the custom was that the baby Jesus, the Christ child, was the one that put the presents under the tree. And then we go to poinsettia, which, of course, is that very popular Christmas flower, and most misspelled. It's poin, P-O-I-N. There's no T, even though the leaves are kind of pointy. Poinsettia, not poinsettia. So there are four ways to misspell it, but the only right way is Poinsettia. That was the Flor de la Noche Buena, discovered by Joel Roberts Poinsett. Incidentally, some San Diego connection there. Our first ambassador to Mexico, he brought it back from Mexico. So it's what we call an eponym, something named after a person. And then finally, the most interesting botanical is the partridge in the pear tree. And why, you ask, would the true love give the narrator of the 12 Days of Christmas, presumably female, the narrator, not only a partridge, but an entire pear tree? Seems kind of cumbersome and a little bit of overkill. Well, the reason is that early on, the words to the song existed in English and French, and there was a bilingual round that went a partridge, une patrie, P-E-R-T-R-I-Z, because in French that means partridge. But people thought it meant pear tree, so when they heard a partridge, une patrie, they thought it wasn't a partridge, but a partridge in a pear tree. And that is where the partridge has been perched proudly ever since. I have a section in the book on three men who reinvented Christmas. One of them, of course, is Clement Clarke Moore, 1823 poem, the Visit from St. Nicholas, now known as The Night Before Christmas. And you're going to hear that very shortly. And of course, it reposes in the book. But he really shaped a lot of the idea of Santa visiting not on Christmas Day, but on Christmas Eve, and putting the presents out, and the reindeer. But he was a right jolly old elf. I mean, that is Santa Claus. And it took this fellow, Thomas Nast, to blow Santa up into a large fellow. This guy, Thomas Nast, was probably the most influential political cartoonist in American history. And he wrote for Harper's Magazine, or drew rather, in the 1870s and 80s, last part of the 19th century. And he shaped Santa Claus in so many ways in our minds, and also, by the way, gave us the donkey and the elephant as the political symbols. But another fellow very important is Charles Dickens, and you see Scrooge there. What happened with Dickens is in the 1844 A Christmas Carol, written in 6 frenzied weeks, incidentally, he came up with Scrooge, and we still call miserly, bad-tempered people Scrooges. And he gave us the snowy, the white Christmas, all sorts of inventions, and really infused Christmas with having a good heart and giving gifts. So that was Charles Dickens, who, and one other thing is, as a result of this book, people stopped saying Happy Christmas because you'll recall at the end of the Moore poem, and I heard him exclaim as he drove out of sight, Happy Christmas to all, and to all a good night. But Scrooge says Merry Christmas, and that really changed it also. So those are 3 wise men who invented Christmas. I have in the book, and I'll get to it here shortly, a Dog's Night Before Christmas. And it's a parody because A Night Before Christmas, Clement Clarke Moore, is probably the best known poem written by an American in the world, even though it's seasonal, and the most parodied. And parody means you're imitating in a humorous way the style of something. So I have taken this and written my Dog's Night Before Christmas. And again, my dear friends at Senior Center, any part of this that you require, I can send, although obviously I'm hopeful that you will learn. I mean, you'll get the book. I'm happy to sign it to anybody, family, friends, you, and you'll see all of it in the book. So here's the Dog's Night Before Christmas. 'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in hopes and St. Nicholas would be there. My dogs, they were nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of chewy toys danced in their heads. When up on the roof there arose such a clatter, I sprang from my bed to see what was the matter, and what to my wondering eyes should appear but a toy-laden sleigh with 8 mighty reindeer, with a jolly old driver, so lively and quick I knew in a moment it must be Saint Nick. With a flutter of ashes and flurry of soot, he slid down the chimney with all of his loot. My precious dogs stood there, so regal and proud, guarding our home with their barks oh so loud. Santa Paw showed no fear, and he called them by name. He knew in his heart they were gentle and tame. He brought out his list, began checking it twice. My beauties, I see, that all year you've been nice. I have in my bag many toys and much more. Please tell me, you puppies, what you're longing for. My dogs talked to each other, much to my surprise, and then turned to Santa with tears in their eyes. We have chewies and balls and ropes to be tugged. We are pampered and coddled and petted and hugged. But for Christmas, dear Santa, we have but one care, that all dogs be loved just as much as we are. We want no dog beaten, no dog starved or chained. We want no dog abused or abandoned or maimed. We want that all dogs, no matter what size, see true love reflected in their master's eyes. Then Santa paused to gather his wits. I cannot stop humans from being such twits. Each dog's so devoted and is such a pleasure. They just want to be loved and to give humans pleasure. This is a bright lesson that I'll try to teach, and maybe your wish will be within my reach. Santa paused, then turned to me, his face wet with tears. Be proud of your puppies. They all are such dears. He planted a kiss on each beautiful head. Now you gentle giants go right off to bed. Think only good thoughts and dream only good dreams of running and playing and jumping in streams. And then Santa Claus disappeared in a poof, and I heard him laugh loudly up there on the roof. He jumped in his sleigh, to his team gave a whistle, and off he then flew like the down on a thistle. And I heard him exclaim as he drove out of sight, Yappy holidays to all, and to dogs a good life. Okay, what a pleasure being with you. Now, if you want to write me about anything, if you need any material from this talk or anything else, there is my website, verbivore.com. You can get more information on that site. And there is my email address. Please note the H in Richard H. Lederer at gmail.com. If you don't include the H for Henry, it won't go through, and it probably won't even bounce back at you, because apparently somebody else named Richard Lederer co-opted that Gmail before I got a chance. So verbivore.com. You can use PayPal if you use that through my email, or and you'll have to write this down, sorry, but you can send a check to me at, and I'm going to have to dictate this because I don't have it in front of me, 10034 Mesa, M-E-S-A, Madera, M-A-D-E-R-A Drive, 10034, that's 4 numbers, Mesa Madera Drive, M-A-D-E-R-A, it means wooden table, San Diego, of course, California, 92131. San Diego, 92131. I will get them to you one way or the other, and very quickly, but don't wait till the last minute. And again, these are not books for children, 12 and above. Thanks for your time. Merry Christmas to everyone, and